So PayPal rolled out its PYUSD, the Venmo stablecoin, or excuse me, the PayPal stablecoin, but it rolled it out to Venmo users. And this is, again, I don't know why we need to continually learn this lesson. If you haven't seen all the other stablecoins blow up, the Terra Luna stuff a year ago, and others in the past, why are we continuing to do something that, and again, there are some use cases for people around the world, people that are, they're outside the system in a way. Let's say there's some different things going on where it could be a use case. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is the stable coin. Bitcoin is the best coin. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. And if you're doing something right away, doing something very quickly, you don't need anything else. You just use Bitcoin. There's no need. Again, these stable coins are only stable for a time, then they're unstable, and then they fall apart. There's no need for giving up control to centralized parties. You should never be using anything that's outside of your control in this regard. This is where, again, I'm an advocate for Bitcoin, something that is immutable. It's uncensorable. It cannot be frozen. It's something that no one has control over. It's completely decentralized. And then you can transact in it. It's trustless, permissionless. You don't need permission to use it. You don't need to trust the other people that are using the system because it has a protocol, a set of rules that have to be followed in order to use the network. So why are we continuing to play these games? You get, as Tim Kennedy has said many times, I don't know if he's the one that started it, again, but if you play stupid games, you get stupid rewards. And again, when you get further away from truth, you get worse and worse prizes. So you have to try to stay closer to truth. I'm working on an outline for a book that will be coming out in the next few years. We have some other, lower ABCs of Bitcoin, some different stuff that's coming out here. But it's something to relate to my children of, my track record over the last 20 years, staying as close to the truth as possible. And fortunately for myself, I've been pretty spot on with a lot of the things that I've made predictions on or I've said. And it's because I'm trying to break down why and pass these ideals down to my children. Why is it that I have continued to call a lot of these shots and what's going to happen, whether it's politically or economically or different things? It's because the thing I've distilled it down to is staying as close to truth as possible. And Zach, the Village Idiot, who we've interviewed as well on the channel, he talks about this. His episode is all about that. So go check that out. It's a great episode about submitting to truth, denying truth, accepting truth, denying truth, or submitting to truth. And there's some differences there. And I try to do my best to submit to truth. What is the truth? And then submit to those laws, to those principles, to thermodynamics, to the first principles, to nature's law. What are those things? To live my life by those standards. We're human. We make mistakes. We're sinners. Things happen. But how can I live as close to those ideals as possible? And you're going to get the best outcomes because of that. And so, PayPal rolling a stable coin out when we've hilariously had these stable coins being unstable, collapsing. Why? Why do people continue to do this? I get why people are creating it, because they get to milk people and make more fiat off of it and probably put it into Bitcoin, probably buy Bitcoin after that, the people at the top. But why does retail, the public, why do they keep getting into these things? I don't understand why we continue to let those things persist. But that's a bigger topic for a different day, and that's a massive question, right? But all we need to know here is, like we said, Bitcoin, the least interesting aspect of Bitcoin is price. Everything else is the most interesting part. How it's going to help humanity, how it's going to render these companies completely moot. Like Venmo, if Venmo is smart, or PayPal, they'd be using Bitcoin. They'd have Lightning immediately installed, maybe the Liquid network, some layer 2s of Bitcoin, and they would be letting people use that network, and then they could collect fees from using, having those services, and they could run their own nodes, and they could have their own services and collect those fees as someone who's actually upholding the integrity of the network and strengthening the network. Instead, they're making their own garbage coins in order to try to usurp things and to create their more rent-seeking and grifting on the system that, in the end, aren't even stable. They're not even stable coins. They're just their own coin they made up on a little software browser and ChatGPT, and here we are. We're going to roll it out for people because now we have control over it. They want control at the end of the day, right? So this is the huge spoiler alert. They want control of their coin. Just like, again, PayPal said, we're going to take $2,500 out of your account if you don't do what we say or think how we want you to think or say the things we want you to say. Venmo's going to be the same way. If they aren't already, they will take you out of the system. Canada, the country of Canada, a G7 country, already showed us they will freeze your bank account if they don't like what you're doing. Again, remember, Lois Lerner here, the Obama administration, 10 years ago, being investigated, the IRS, for targeting conservative groups. You don't think that can happen the other way? Again, it's going to happen more than Democrats doing to Republicans, but you don't think Republicans could do it to Democrats? Guys, this is the world we're living in. We have to understand where we are, and this can all be avoided, completely avoided, if we just go to a standard that can't be controlled by people. If we take rules in the Bitcoin protocol, not rulers, belief in human beings, rules over rulers. But we live in a world where people just continually want rulers and they don't want to play by rules. So we're going to play stupid games, get stupid rewards. So be careful. Be careful out there. This is not financial advice, it's freedom advice. Please share this out. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And again, the algorithm hates truth, so please share this out. And again, this is not financial advice, it's freedom advice. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.